In to Studio de Jefre, where today there are a number of things to go over, including Michael Gallup back at practice, Jourdan Lewis's availability, first glance at the matchup between the Cowboys and the Bucs, and what will be different from last year, as well as the availability of some Bucs players. And a little bit of a preview. This, of course, brought to you by my friends at BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Let me know which way you leaning here, baby. Cowboys or Bucs. You can find reviews and news for every league. MLB, Aaron Judge is going ham. NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, even golf. BetOnline, they're the top online resource for all your sports information, live in-game betting, props, and futures. Take advantage of it, Texas. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join. Make that first sports bet. Promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV50, and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. Welcome in. First things first. Michael Gallup practiced today, which is really cool. Cowboys game is getting so close, my guy, in the chat. Yes, we are almost there. We are almost freaking there. We can actually talk about an actual football game. How about that? How about that? Let's talk some ring, Jeffrey. We're not talking rings of power. This is going to be Cowboys. Dad, is that you? Nope, I'm not your father, I don't think. Michael Gallup was at practice. What does it mean? The answer, not much. But it was really cool to see him actually take part in the individual portion of practice. So Michael Gallup was out there actually running routes. Will he play this week? Absolutely not. He was listed as limited today on the injury report, but he is not going to play, I promise. Will Michael Gallup play next week? I mostly promise he won't. Could he play week 3? Yeah, that is the trajectory that I believe that we're on with Michael Gallup. Jourdan Lewis, also listed as questionable. Vach is live right now. I should have checked to see if Vach was live. I'm sorry. I don't do a good enough job of checking when my friends are live. I apologize. You're under no obligation to be here when Vach is live, I assure you. I want all the good things for my buddy. This is just when I could sneak it in today because I got yoga sculpt here shortly, and then I got volleyball playoffs, okay? So anyway, where was I? Jourdan Lewis. He's on track to play. He was a limited participant today, but listening to what he said after practice, seeing some of the quotes and talking to some people, it sounds like Jourdan Lewis will be good to go. So you'll have your full complement of corners, and the Cowboys are going to be full speed ahead against the Bucs minus Michael Gallup. That'll be the only guy who will likely be out for this game. Now for the Bucs, Chris Godwin is listed as a full participant. I know there were quotes yesterday from him where he's basically saying it's going to come down to feel. So don't know yet if Chris Godwin is going to play. Julio Jones did not practice today. And I don't really know if he's one of their top 3 receivers anyway. I think Russell Gage might be wide receiver 3 and then Julio wide receiver 4. But they will have Mike Evans, maybe Chris Godwin. We shall see. Maybe someone should turn on their notifications of their friends. That is a fair point, Brandon. That is a fair point. MG13 full or partial. He was a partial. He's not going to play this week. Do not get your hopes up. Michael Gallup ain't playing. I don't think he'll play next week either, but I think there's a chance for week 3. That would be my guess on the Michael Gallup timeline. Now, what were the other things that I said I was going to talk about? Welcome into the life of ADHD. Find my notes on the other things I wanted to talk about. Second year guy to keep an eye on, which I think is really interesting, is somebody that Micah Parsons mentioned specifically today after practice. He was talking about nose tackle Quinton Bohanna. He talked about expectations, and he's talking about setting a standard of how defense should be played. He mentioned young guys, singled out Quinton Bohanna. He said, like Big Q, I think he's going to make a huge jump this year and be a dominant force for us. Now, that's big words, but sweet. Keep an eye on that. Look at that. Look at this euros in the super chat. Percentage that the Cowboys win on Sunday, 48%. 49%. Something like that. I'll make my official pick when it's time to make my official pick. But 48, 49, 47. Just let Vegas tell you. Matchup with the Bucs. What's interesting is how much difference this is going to be from a year ago when they played. You've got the Bucs who last year, the guys that tore up the Cowboys pretty good were actually Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown. Neither one of them will be on the field this year for Tampa Bay. At least not yet. Maybe Gronk will one day. But they won't have those guys. That Bucs offensive line helped them to score over 40 points. Ali Marpet retired. Kappa is gone. And Ryan Jensen, the starting center, is hurt. He's gone. So 3/5 of that starting offensive line for the Bucs from a year ago will not be in this game. Who are they replaced by? Well, they are replaced by Robert Hainsey at center. That sounds pretty shaky. Shaq Mason will be the right guard. He came from New England, and he's a pretty good player. And rookie Luke Gadecki should be their left guard, which means the Bucs, unlike a year ago, will probably have a weakness at a couple of the different offensive line spots if you can take advantage of them. Andrew in the Super Chat, what game do you think Peters starts? Jason Peters? My guess is week 3, but let's see what the Cowboys do. The way they're telling it is that if Tyler Smith plays left tackle at a decent level, that Jason Peters will essentially just be there as a safety blanket and won't be playing. I would imagine that if Connor McGovern plays the way I'm anticipating Connor McGovern playing, they're just going to have to figure out, is Jason Peters going to play guard, or are they going to slide Tyler Smith back into guard? But one of them bad boys, Jason Peters needs to get on the field, in my humble opinion. So the Bucs have downgraded in this game at left guard, at center, at tight end, and at wide receiver 3. Again, we don't even know. Is Godwin going to play? Who are going to be their top 3 wide receivers? But Antonio Brown was really good for them last year before he went off the rails. And he'll go off the rails every year, so I don't want him on my football team. I want him to get help, so we don't have to worry about that. That's where they've downgraded. The Cowboys, what are they going to be different from a year ago? Well, a year ago, you had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup in week 1 as your 3 wide receivers. This year, that's going to be CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, and Jalen Tolbert. You can be as big a Cowboy fan as you want. You are not going to project that the Cowboys receiver core is better than when they played this team a year ago. They're going to be worse. The offensive line a year ago was Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Tyler Biadasz, Zach Martin, and it was Terrence Steele because LC was suspended, right? So this year, instead of Tyron Smith, you'll have Tyler Smith. Instead of Connor Williams, you'll have Connor McGovern. The other 3 will be the same. So the Cowboys will be worse at left tackle and left guard than they were a year ago in this game. They'll be worse at wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3. I believe the Cowboys will be upgraded at linebacker, perhaps in the secondary with Malik Hooker coming along and being further removed from injury. You'll have the same corners. Jaron Kearse is going to play well, obviously. You got those guys. You're in good shape there. The linebacker crew with Jabril Cox ready, with Anthony Barr, with Parsons in his second year, with Van Der Esch looking really good in camp. Your linebackers are better. So the Cowboys, in theory, they're worse offensively. They're better defensively. The Bucs, I think, are going to be about the same as they were a year ago defensively, and they'll be worse offensively. How well can they protect Tom Brady? That will be the story of the game. They replaced Ndamukong Suh with Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks is a really good player. So, tough part for the Cowboys is that's right, Martin had COVID. So you will go into this bad boy feeling really good about your defense, even though they let up 40 a year ago. And you will go into this wondering, can you attack their center and their left guard efficiently, which will come down to your defensive linemen like Osa and Neville Gallimore and Bohanna, and the guys that line up on the right side, whether it's Parsons, Dorrance, Dante Fowler, Sam Williams. When those guys are stunting inside, you'll have some matchup opportunities. Tough part is Tom Brady gets the ball out. That old man gets the ball out. Hold on. Also, Wirfs has that oblique injury from Tommy. Appreciate that. And Nelsbuck, I know you hate the show, but what happened to Micah doing Undisputed? I'm sure there would have been takeaways from his time on the show. I don't know, because I'll never keep up with that show. So I don't care. I don't watch that show. I will watch one show on there because my buddy Dave Hellman now is at Fox Sports 1 and he deserves all his flowers. And so I will watch him, even though I only like 3/4 of that show. But don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all that. Next thing, Stevie asked me on Twitter, who's got a rougher go at it on the O-line to open up the season, Dallas or Tampa Bay? I think Dallas probably does. What you need to see is the Cowboys' defensive tackles play really well, because I feel way better about what Tampa has at defensive tackle going up against the Cowboys interior when you're talking about Vita Vea, freaking monster, and Akeem Hicks lining up across from center and left guard, Biotish and Connor McGovern. That's tough. The Cowboys have to take advantage of that exact same place, their center and their left guard. So which one do you feel is going to be taken advantage of worse? Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks against our guys, or Osa, Neville Gallimore, Bohanna, Tristan Hill against their guys? You just need Micah. You need Micah to go out there and raise absolute holy hell, rushing up the middle and off the edge. That's what you need. From my guy, Yaya Dubin, on a scale of 1 to 10, how believable is their insistence that really Pollard will be more involved this year? I swear. I think he will be, partially because your wide receiver core is so depleted and iffy and inexperienced that they will play two backs. It's just a matter of how does Tampa respond to that? And do you get the matchups that you want? Or is this just something where you're basically playing Tony Pollard at receiver and they play it as if he's a receiver and there's really no advantage gained? We'll see. Come on, Jeff, pick the damn Cowboys. I can't tell you who I'm picking yet. It's not time. Zeke and Pollard touch count on Sunday and gut feeling on game outcome. Not telling you, but Micah didn't rush the passer last time, right? Well, I mean, he rushed plenty. When did Tank get hurt? Was he hurt going into the year or did he get hurt in week 1? See, that's one of those times where I wish I had a good memory. So many people have good memories. And I will not say it, James. You're not going to tell me who to pick. Zeke and Pollard touch count depends. People hate this. People want to pretend that if you run the ball 25 times, you win the game. If the Cowboys get out front and are in control of this game, then between Zeke and Pollard, you'll get 30 touches. Zeke will have 20 carries. Pollard will have 10. They'll have 4 to 6 catches between them. They'll have a whole bunch of touches. If Tampa's offense puts up points early and you don't, then you're not going to run the ball a bunch. You're going to throw it because, trying to score points and whatnot. And then you might have a game where Zeke and Pollard touch the ball a combined 20 times. Boy, look at Joseph dropping bombs in the super chat. Thank you, Joseph Chandler. I appreciate you. Boba Fett, 3835 Cowboys. Like the video. I would appreciate it if you did that. If you hit the like button on the video, that sure would be appreciated. That would be lovely. Jeff, confidence that LVE plays 40-plus defensive snaps. Not all that high because at times the Cowboys will play Jaron Kearse at linebacker. In week 1, I don't know how many times this will happen, but if he keeps playing the way he did in camp and preseason, Jabril Cox is going to eat into some of those snaps. So Vander Esch, I bet Vander Esch plays 40 to 50% of the snaps. Stop ducking and just pick the cap. You're not going to make me pick early. Kilgore joined in late, going to rewind. Appreciate you, brother. Question, odds we win this game. I feel better and better about our odds every day. Probably just that Cowboys fever. Vegas tells you got about a 40-something% chance to win. I'll tell you who's going to win. Just not today. Tank did play. That's why Micah didn't rush. Well, he still rushed, just not as a dude who was filling in at left defensive end. Got to bet the under this game with how good both defenses are. That might not be a bad call. This show's presented by Bet Online. Get in there, make you some money. One other thing, I can do the Dalton Schultz thing later. Who's going to win? You guys get it. No, I'm not. You don't pick who's winning on a Wednesday. That's not how this thing works. Make sure you're checking out 97.1, the Eagle, and the iHeartRadio app at 4:15 p.m. Central every day. That's when I do my Cowboys hit, which means here in 20 minutes, I'll be on the radio with my buddies, Ben and Skin, KT, Christina. We're going to have a good time. And tonight is Wednesday night playoffs. We're down to 4 teams in the Sand Volleyball League. We won Monday nights. Wednesday's a different team, but wish us the best. We're going out there. We're going to play the 3 seed. No, we're going to play the 2 seed tonight. And if we beat them, we'll play the 1 seed. We didn't have a strong regular season, but we brought it together last week and eliminated the 3 seed. And now we're creeping. How many likes to tell us who wins? We'll do that next time. How do you think Hooker will play this season? I think Hooker's going to play well. I think Malik Hooker was coming along last year, further and further removed from the injury. He started taking more and more snaps from DeMonte KZ as the season went along, and he was looking better and better. He's always been a good sideline-to-sideline deep player. He became a good run defender. So I think Malik Hooker is going to play well. What's up, Jeff from Twitch? Love you, man. Shout out to my people who are here on Twitch. Shout out to my people here on Facebook, on YouTube, and the people who will hear this later on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and however else you listen. Update on Jourdan Lewis. He's going to play. Well, let me not guarantee that, but it sounds like Jourdan Lewis is going to play. He's on track to play. It sounds like the only guy who will not play is Michael Gallup. And Cavanaugh Turpin absolutely could be something that makes a difference this year, whether it's people sacrificing yards, moving the ball away from him, or whether it's actually kicking to him. He could be a big part of this thing, and that would be lovely. I think that's all I got. I got some other stuff we'll do throughout the week. I'm going to try to get together with my guys, Vach, J Tuck, Skywalker Steel, stuff like you host the healthiest Cowboys channel. Congrats. Thanks. I don't know what that means. Jeff, shout out to West Coast Cowboy, who mentioned 88 has not scored a TD since November 21st. Will Kellen feature him early to get him in rhythm? He has to. And they will. They did that throughout camp. CeeDee Lamb was the guy that was moving around pre-snap, moving around at the snap. He's the guy that they're going to move around a lot to try to make it hard to double. And they are going to try to generate as many touches for CeeDee Lamb as they can. He'll get at least 10 targets. If he doesn't, then I'll be mad at Kellen Moore and or Dak, depending on what the film says, who I'm supposed to be mad at. I'll figure that out in due time. All right, you guys have a great day. I got my other stuff I got to do. And remember to be cool to everybody. That's not how that goes. Take your Adderall, Jeff. Get locked in, for crying out loud. You have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody.